Welcome back, everybody. This is day 2 of Zen in 10. So hopefully you got to do our mindful breath work session yesterday. If you haven't yet, we are not closing any of the videos or doing anything like that. So if you do need to catch up, of course, go and watch that first video. Make sure you like or comment so that way we know how to keep track of points, as well as keeping you on track. Obviously, the goal is to get at least a 10-minute break a day. Hopefully you're able to walk around your desk or do a little bit more than that usually. But like I said, this is a refresh. So if you're absolutely in a rut and haven't been up from your desk in hours, this is a great way. And you can go back and rewatch these at any time. But this is a great way to just take a step away. Or if you're needing to listen to this while you're at your desk, this one we are not going to do really any movement with today. So you're more than welcome to obviously listen to it on your lunch break. If you're just kind of feeling, I need some new nutrition options, things like that, this will be a great takeaway from this session here. So we're going to get started with the first one on why nutrition actually matters. So besides helping, of course, with your feeling better, looking better, the whole thing, energy and just the way that it makes your body feel to consume appropriate amounts of not only your calories and how your macros are set up, but then also the other things sometimes we forget along the way, which is fiber, which is going to be a huge thing we talk about here, just as it aids you in the digestion part, as well as the fat loss and muscle building, just like protein plays a huge role with that as well. And I'll give some examples here of what you can use or what you can fuel your body with as we go along. So here is the main source of protein. Now, the best way to get in your protein is going to be using whole foods. So listed below are some there as well: meat, poultry, eggs, dairy. Soy and protein powders are great. Women especially sometimes do have a harder time processing soy protein. So if you're going to go with something like a, supplemented protein, definitely kind of work through and see what works best. I would start with small doses, just to make sure that, all these steps you're taking in your health journey are not depleted by having something that's messing with your gut or your microbiome, because that's going to be a huge role in how you feel. And if there's energy crashes, if you feel well enough to even work out, to kind of avoid that energy crash. And that's what we'll talk about too here. So protein helps keep your blood sugar stable to avoid the crash. And for instance, I'm eating my favorite pairing here right now. I usually pair up my protein yogurt here, the Oikos brand, with berries, and then as well like a granola to get some of those whole grains as well. So anything like that. And if you guys are looking for an app to kind of see, are my foods healthy? What am I getting out of my food nutrients? MyFitnessPal is a great one to track it. And then to kind of scan labels as you're in the store, you can also use the Yuka app. And I'll link those both below as well, if you guys need to use those as you're shopping or doing anything like that. But yes, pairing the proteins, making sure you're getting all the essential amino acids are going to be super helpful when trying to avoid that sugar crash later on, or even that 3 p.m. like energy crash. If you're finding like that drive home is getting really hard to stay awake, or you just cannot focus on any task later on in the day, you either need to take a break or you need to start filling your day with more of those protein rich foods. And this is kind of just another slide. I'm not going to read through it. You guys can kind of see here, but mainly preserving your lean muscle mass is going to be super important during a fat loss journey. Now, if you're not on a fat loss journey, maybe you're on a muscle loss journey, or just even in maintenance, it's going to be super important, especially people as we age. Obviously, our bone density goes down, skeletal muscle mass, everything starts to kind of deplete. And so holding on to any of that lean muscle mass through your process of either bulking, cutting, or maintenance is super important. And if you guys need to get that checked out, we do have a brand new InBody machine. You can probably see it briefly behind me. So come down and you can check out your skeletal muscle mass. I think it'd be super important for you guys to see where you start at during the beginning of this journey. And if you keep it through this full 4 weeks, with adding in some strength training, and we'll send out different things as we go. But I think it'd be super interesting to see where you guys end up at the end of this, not only 4 weeks, but if you continue on and do like a 10-week scan, to kind of see how that lean muscle mass lines up. Alrighty. So now the stuff that you guys can take away from this, if you've never calculated this, which if you do put this, like I said, into like my fitness pal or another tracker, it'll give you this formula. But if you've kind of always wondered, like, what does it break down to? Why is it asking my activity level or anything like that? Here's kind of what it goes based off of. So if you're a sedentary individual, so meaning that you don't work out anywhere besides maybe walking up and down the stairs to your desk, then at home at night, playing with your kids, you're still kind of in that sedentary category. So it's calculated based off zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. And then this example below is going off someone who weighs 150 pounds. So you can see here if you're minimum, moderate, or high. So this one goes off of that one in the middle, the moderate. You would need 150 grams of protein per day. And then if you're in the minimum, obviously it's going to be a little less, probably around like 130. And then the higher category, this is where you're really trying to put on like that muscle building. You're about like 160, 170 grams. Now, for a lot of you, that may seem like a lot. Or maybe if you've never even tracked your protein and have no idea, that still can sound like a lot. But if we go into kind of the next slides, it'll show you like some things to pair or just some things you never even thought of. I know cottage cheese is like a big crave right now, or big craze right now about how you can add it to any of your sauces or things like that just to get some extra protein, which is absolutely true. And if you're not looking to grow muscle but just maintain, you can always stay on that lower end as well. But it's very important to start trying to meet these numbers, even if you're not reaching a certain calorie goal, a certain, low carb, any sort of diet. Super important to still maintain that protein because that's going to help your muscle structure overall. So you guys need help calculating this. Feel free to send me your numbers. I can calculate for you because we'll get into what your guys' like weekly challenge is with all of this information at the end. And then we're going to jump right into fiber since that's the other part of our presentation today and the other half that basically helps with digestion when you're eating like 150 grams of protein. So if you've ever felt extremely full, bloated, this and that, by upping your protein, number one, that's how you're supposed to feel for a little bit of it, but like an uncomfortable type, it's probably because you weren't getting enough fiber. And we'll go over the exact numbers, men and women, on the next couple of slides here. But in kind of conclusion of what is a fiber, the different types, soluble is going to be the type that dissolves. It's going to lower your cholesterol, support your gut health, improve the blood sugar. And then those are going to be your things like apples, beans, nuts, oatmeal, sweet potatoes. They kind of help move things through. So think of that as like the pace car. It's going to push things through. Whereas your insoluble, it does not dissolve. And then that's going to help support your intestinal health. It's also found in like the leafy greens, quinoa, and that's going to be the stuff that helps things cling to it. So as things move through, I know this is such a fun topic, but as things move through in your digestion, it's going to basically help things latch on so that they can be pushed out instead of getting kind of caught in like your colon or your intestinal tract. So having both of those soluble and insoluble fibers are super important. And if this sounds like, oh my God, I'm adding a lot of things in here, this can be as simple as, one day a week switching from your white rice to a brown rice. This can be adding in a salad with your dinner at night, just some different things. That's for the insoluble. And then your soluble, literally apple after breakfast or with your breakfast. You can do beans, nuts, like anything you pair with. Any of that would be great. So it's not necessarily I have to get every single one of these categories. It's just adding a little bit to each one of your meals, and that will help tremendously. Alrighty, so we kind of talked about this already. But if you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, and any of those glucose levels that are less than green, basically this is going to help a lot with either reducing the effects of your diabetes or it's going to help you regulate as well. Alrighty, so how much fiber do you need? Women, you need about 25 grams a day, men about 38. And then it is very important that with this, you are also increasing your hydration. So a little bit when we talked about, bulking up your stool, in order to push things through, you need some liquid to get that pushed out as well. So make sure you're and we'll talk hydration the next couple of days, But if you're not drinking at least, I would say 40 to 60 ounces of water a day, um, aim for that lower end. But as much as you need in protein, you also need water to push it through. Otherwise, you will feel, yes, very bulky, very bloated, just kind of uncomfortable. All right, so here's a couple meal tips. Greek yogurt on the top there, plus berries. You can do chia seeds if you want. Make sure you soak them first. And then this one's like a dinner meal: chicken breast, quinoa, roasted broccoli, Brussels sprouts. You can do kind of anything. Broccoli is just going to be a little higher in fiber to help out. And then scrambled eggs, whole grain toast, and avocado. So pairing those healthy fats is also important for like the satiating feel, but also that's going to help hormone balances and everything like that as well. And I'll send you guys out another handout basically, or just an email with other pairings of food. So your guys' challenge with all of this, I felt like I've rambled for a while, is to hit your protein and fiber goal for at least 2 days this week. So if you've already done a great job today as you're watching this, just make sure, check your MyFitnessPal, make sure your protein target and fiber goal are aligned, and then you can count today. So 2 days this week, you can cross off today since you listened to the video, you liked it. Make sure you get that done so we know how many points you have. And then after you're done marking that off, you're going to put in the bonus category. If you've hit 2 days this week, you get 5 points for every day you hit it. And I'll send this out in an email as well. But 5 points for every day you hit your protein and fiber goal. So if you've hit it today, if you hit it yesterday, you can count literally all 5 days this week, but only five. Not saying you shouldn't hit your goals on the weekend, but I want you guys to prioritize kind of while we're here at work, getting it done so that way when you get home, it's easy. You already have something meal prepped, you've already had it thought out, or you already hit like 130 grams while you were at work for your 8 to 10 hour day, depending on your commute. And that way, when you're home, you have basically one meal left for the day. So whatever distractions come about, kids, wife, husband, pets, anything, yard work, anything that comes up, you're still hitting your goal like you need to, so you can feel well rested and ready for the next work day. So yes, 2 days this week is your challenge. If you hit those two, give yourself the 10 bonus points. If you hit all 5 days, go ahead and give yourself 25 points. You can put it a little bit since there'll be a couple more bonus points this week. So write it kind of small so you can add some more stuff in there. I'm going to go to the next slide, pause for a second. That way, if anyone has not already gotten their Zen and 10 scorecard, you can screenshot this. I'll also send out a PDF since otherwise you'll get my little face down here in the bubble. But that is all for today. I've taken up a little more time than I wanted to. So this is Zen in 13 instead of 10 today, but we will aim for 10 minutes tomorrow. Tomorrow is Workstation Warrior Wednesday, which is going to be basically a desk strength sort of exercise. So think just squats, lunges, push-ups at your desk. Like if you don't feel comfortable doing it at your desk, of course, you can do it somewhere else. You can, hopefully it's nice enough, you can go outside tomorrow, wherever you want to do it. But that will be tomorrow. So make sure to come back to our channel. And again, like or comment on the video so we know who's all watched it, so we can make sure to award your points in the overall leaderboard. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.